Looks like a bowl of Fruit Loops. Looks like a bowl of Fruit Loops. Oh, I get it. I get it. Good afternoon from the North Carolina side of the Smokies. It is Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. And my friend Robin and I have about 150 pounds on our back. More like about, I think we're like 37, 38 pounds. Because we are hiking in a couple miles, about 2.5, 3 miles, to campsite 60 on Deep Creek Trail. And that's going to be our base camp for the next 3.5 days. We have a couple options based on the weather as to what we're going to do, but we might have a 20-miler in there somewhere. So we will catch you again when we get to the campsite, which from this point is probably about 1.5 miles is what we're thinking. You were able to see that video, or that butterfly, excuse me. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the trails around here at the Deep Creek area. So as I studied my map for this trip, I knew that there were a bunch of trailheads back up the parking. There's like 3 different falls, very popular place, although it doesn't feel overcrowded. And I did my research with the Little Brown Hiking Book and with Liz Eitner's day hikes. So I knew that it was going to be a little confusing, and it was. I turned us around 3 times before I got on trail, and I'm usually pretty good. Robin turned us around once, but I really had us confused. Maybe because I did too much research and I knew it was going to be a lot going on, and I kept second guessing the turns. So obviously I need to hit those trails anyway for my 900-miler. They're not long trails. It's not a big deal, except we have 1,000 pounds on our back, and one of them was uphill, and so I goofed on that one. But so you can get turned around pretty easily, especially when one trail is named Deep Creek and one is named Deep Creek Horse, and they intertwine. And I was not really aware that the Deep Creek Horse Trail was a loop, so that kind of threw me a little bit. We finally got on trail about 0.7 miles in. So, but just be forewarned, if you're gonna do this if you're gonna start from the Deep Creek area, there are many different ways to go, and just consult all your maps and your GPS map. Like, I pulled up all trails knowing that it was popular enough that it should have been fairly accurate, and I think it was. And I apologize for all the jumping. I don't know if it's because I'm bouncing more with all the 1,200 pounds on my back or what. I do have another selfie stick that is supposed to be a little more balanced, so I may pull that out when we get to camp, but I have to show you this view right now. It is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, look at that. And I think this is going to be right next to us when we camp. We had some people that stopped us at the parking lot. They saw our packs and said that they just camped at the campsite we were at the night before, and that the creek was there and there's a resident deer. So we're hoping for a nice one. Literally is a deep creek and a clear creek. Perfect place for fly fishing. Okay, we've made it to the next junction. This Sunkota Ridge, an Indian Creek Trail, I think we're taking on day 3. And then Martin's Gap is all the way up. I think that might be the Mountains to Sea Trail, maybe. We are certainly not going 4.3 today. I think from here, I could be wrong, but I think from here it's only like 0.6, 0.7 miles. So, of course, the trail gets a little bit smaller, but it looks like it's just an old road. We made it! Campsite 60, Deep Creek. That's so hard to say, I don't know why. It looks like Deep Creek goes up that way, but this campsite is like enormous. And looks like there's a little trail back there just to other campsites. Excuse me. I know it holds 20, so, and I think that it also is a stop campsite, so. The creek is right there. There will be swimming. There will be swimming. Guess what? It's raining. We took our time at campsite 60 to have lunch and set up our tent and then set up our hammock. And just, you know, have some fun. And then all of a sudden the skies opened. Sorry, I have bugs. I should probably shut this because I know I have bugs in my tent. So yeah, so we're waiting it out. We had sketchy service. Sorry. So we have, okay, I'm gonna have to get back to you because this bug's driving me crazy. Okay, I'm back. A testament to permethrin sprayed on your tent. I know that some people say that invalidates your warranty, and while I understand that, I do think it's important to make sure you keep critters out of your tent, and spraying permethrin is one of those ways. There was a bug in here, and he was flying frantically, and I just kind of half swatted it, and he just dropped. He's been in here flying around, and I'm sure he's getting some of that on him. So shout out to permethrin. So yeah, so we're just waiting it out. It's about 3:30, almost 3:30 in the afternoon. And it just seems like a garden variety shower. We have spotty cell service, so I can't really get the radar to load, but I did load all of the forecast for the next few days, and I think this is just going to blow over. So yeah, all set up and just kind of hanging out. The creek is right next to us, and we may go for a swim if this clears off. So catch you later. Good morning. It is Saturday, June 30th, and we are a little over a half a mile into our trek today. I forgot to do a nightly recording. I took Benadryl last night and was pretty tired, even though we only hiked 3 miles. So today we are attempting about a 20-mile day. It probably will be just shy of 20 miles.
If we don't make it, you'll just edit this out.
Yes. Yeah. If we don't make it, you won't see this. Spoiler alert. So we're hiking up Deep Creek right now, and then we're going to head to, I don't remember the name of the trail, and that's going to take us to the Noland Divide trail. So we're going to pass several different campsites along the way, and we're kind of following the creek, although it is below us quite a bit right now, until we get to the Noland Divide, I think. So yeah, I don't know how much there'll be to see. We've already seen a little bunny. If I got good footage of that, I'll put it in there. And of course, the deer last night. It was a little 2-pointer buck, and he stayed around camp with us that we know of about, what would you say, an hour or so, maybe even longer than that.
I think he just kept coming back.
Yeah, he there was something in the fire pit that he really liked on another camp, and unfortunately people left some plastic containers, but we kept making sure that that was not what he was getting, and it wasn't. There was something in the coals. So yeah, he just milled around us and then finally took off. And it is, I didn't say what time. It's probably about 8:30 right now, 8:40 in the morning. 8:50, there we go. And so we're planning on, hopefully we'll be back by 6 or 7 this evening. That way we have plenty of daylight. So we'll see. Talk to you later. All right, we have reached campsite 59. About 2.5 miles away from our original campsite. It looks like there's an open area over there, but the campsite itself is over here. So I had to cut the last campsite short because I walked up and scared a man who was by himself. And so we didn't stay at that campsite. But now we are at campsite 58, and I see no one I'm coming up on. This is a nice open campsite. I'm not certain how many it holds, but I think we're going to take a break here right by the creek. Nice open area. And right there's the creek. How lovely. the junction of Martin's Gap. Sunkota Ridge is a trail that I'll probably take tomorrow. And then we are continuing on to Pole Road Creek Trail. And apparently this is also the Mountain to Sea Trail. So we have 0.7 before we get to Pole Road Creek, and then I believe that's 3-something miles. So this is also campsite 57, which appears like it may be closed. Interesting, because we have not seen any bear or bear scat. But that sign says, just in case I can't get close enough, notice this campsite is closed due to aggressive bear activity, which is unfortunate. It does look, there's a lot of growth, and so I don't know how recent that is. I know they keep up on it, so let's see what we can find. It looks like the bear cables are back here. This is supposed to be the last encampment of Horace Kephart, who was the author of our Southern Highlanders and other books. I think there's one, Craft. Do you remember the name of that book? It's about campcraft or something like that, where whittling and knots, and he was a big proponent and a pusher of the Smoky Mountains becoming a park. So he's a big boy here. And apparently this was the last place that he spent a little bit of time on his own. He would go in and out, usually of like Bryson City. And he had people he would stay with there, but then he would come into the woods and just hang out by himself. So apparently they just made this into a campsite from that. All right, we have made it to the junction of Deep Creek and this is the Pole Road Creek Trail. We are headed to the Noland Divide Trail, which is 3.3 miles. It appears that, I don't know what that is. I think Clingman's Dome, once you get to Noland Divide, it goes one way and the other way. Pole Creek Road is only 3.3 miles. So, nice little area and a cute little bridge. And then it looks like we go straight up. At least we go, whoops, we go straight up the stones there. I can never get enough of these stream crossings. It's just part of the charm of the Smoky Mountains, or of the Appalachian Mountains, really. Because I know this isn't the only area with this charm. All right, let's see. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. All right, I probably won't film much of this because it's going to be pretty much straight up from what I understand. So I will catch you on the other side, let you know how it is. All right, we made it to the junction of the Noland Divide Trail. There's actually several junctions here, or several trails here. So here is the trail sign going down where we came up, right there. Pole Road Creek Trail. And then, oh, I guess I need to turn this way. It shows me where we're going, the Noland Divide Trail. Is right. I'll show you here in just a minute. Sorry, I'm looking at this. I thought there were 4. No, that's not a trail. So there's 1, 2. Yeah, there is 4. Sorry. So this is just showing you we need to come this way. And then over here, which is where we sat and had some lunch, while Robin is filtering her water. This shows you the Noland Divide Trail, which is what we're going on. I don't know if you noticed, but the other sign that I showed you that said Noland Divide said it was 7.8 miles, and this one says 7.9 miles. We have that, I have that I've gone 8.1 miles, but this was only supposed to be 7. I don't know, miles. So mileage is off all the time, I think. And then as you see, the Clingman's Dome Road shows you to go to the left there. Excuse me, I'm sorry, the right. And so that trail is actually over there by that other sign. So it's a little confusing, but I think if you get your bearings, you'll understand it. And then this one here shows Nolan Creek Trail, which will take you to the Deep Creek, which is where we came from. And it will also take you the other way down Springhouse Branch Trail. Campsites 65 and 64 are down there. And there's, of course, the Benton McKay Trail sign again. So we met some gentlemen here when we first got here, and they had come up from Clingman's Dome Road, and they went down the Springhouse Branch. But this will be our trail. I think there's, I don't remember how many feet of uphill in the first mile to mile and a half, and then after that it's all downhill. So we're about 5.5 hours in. So it'll probably take us 5.5 more hours to do the downhill plus get back to our camp. So, but if it takes any longer than that, we've got our headlamp. So we're good to go. We're rested, we're fed, and we're hydrated. Right, Robin?
That's right.
This is our first view on Noland Divide. Oh, look at those mountains in the distance. I know the camera doesn't do it justice, but it's super nice here. Just believe me. I think we're going to have better views coming down the way. Oh, and it does get better, a little bit better, at least for me. Isn't that amazing? How many layers of mountains, starting with the closest one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I'm seeing 9, I feel like, layers of beauty.
Over there,
I wonder.
maybe.
I wonder. It looks big enough for us to see that, and that would be the direction. Okay. All right. So our trail so far is overgrown. It was a hair bit uphill, and then it leveled out, but I do believe we have more to come uphill. And flame azaleas. If I don't think I have any video of it, I will put a couple pictures in. Oh yeah, right by a huge rock. Robin has been my eyes because I'm missing them. I'm so busy looking down and trying to keep my hair spiderweb free that I'm not paying any bit of attention, but there you go. Super pretty. And that's kind of cool. This is Lonesome Pine Overlook on the Noland Divide Trail. If you are coming up from the Deep Creek campground, this is 3.3 miles. If you're coming down, it would be, what, 4.7 miles. If you're coming down from, say, the Clingman's Dome parking lot or wherever you were to start your day. That, to me, I think that's Bryson City. What do you think, Robin?
I wonder. I thought so.
Oh, look at them mountains. This is so worth an 18 to 20 mile day. And look, you can even see it looks like a fire going in the distance. Just absolutely amazing. And then this is the little outcropping. Let me show you. This is a little outcropping that you come out to for the views. And then we even have a shaded area for a break. So that's what we're going to do. Take a break. We have 3.3 miles to the campground and then another 3 miles, or maybe just 2.5 miles back to camp. Okay, if you're coming up Noland Divide Trail from the Deep Creek area, you'll come to this sign, Lonesome Pine Overlook at 3.3 miles, and it is to your left. And then the trail follows up this way. So that's really nice that they've labeled that so that you know, and it's like maybe 50 steps up there. And now remember, we're going down Noland Divide, so we're coming up on the Deep Creek. So this will be before the outcropping, but more, oh my goodness, gorgeous views on both sides. I mean, a little more leafed in over here, but we have an opening. Oh goodness. Wow. You can see where the edge of the Smoky Mountain National Park is, which is kind of cool. Do you? So we have a little situation. We may have to alter our plans. I just received a text from the Smoky Mountain National Park Backcountry office that they are putting in place a flood warning from tomorrow mid-morning through Friday. Heavy rains, flash floods. I can't remember what else it said, but not good news. And we have gotten this, I don't know if it's going to be 20 miles. It's probably going to be more like 18, or at least for Smoky Mountain, 900 miles. I think it's only going to be about 18 miles, but we've got this big one in today. So at first we were talking about maybe trying and hurrying up, doing a quick 10 or 12 miles in the morning and then heading out to Bryson City. But now that the revised forecast comes in and says the flash flood warning starting mid-morning, we've been in that situation before and it has not been fun. I'm sure we would be okay, but I am thinking of calling it just because I have already put in 20 miles at least on this trip already. And so of course we'll stay the night tonight. We'll go back to the campsite, and we have our husbands watching the forecast for us, and every now and then I get a text at our campsite, so I think we'll just have them guide us. So then I will have to come back and do that Suncota Ridge and Indian Creek, which is what I had planned for tomorrow. So no big deal if it has to happen. I'm in it for the long haul, and I probably have another, I don't know how many years left of getting my miles in. So, but it's a fluid situation, and we will let you know when we decide. One last beautiful view. We are so very glad we did this trail today, considering what we might be changing. It was worth every uphill step. So we have reached the end of the Noland Divide trail. And I think what we're going to do instead of going back to the campground is I think we're going to go up the Deep Creek Horse Trail. Deep Creek Trail from here is, oh, it says here from 2 miles. So it looks like from here we only have 2.5 miles left to camp. So we're going to take a quick break. It is about 8 o'clock, I think. Almost 8 o'clock. So we've got to do that 2.5 miles. And then we'll be back to camp. Good morning. It is Thursday, July 1st, and we are actually headed back to the car. After consulting our husbands on the weather forecast and the text that we got yesterday from the Forest Service, and being through a flash flood thunderstorm situation here before, it's just not worth it. We did we call it a 20-miler day. It was like 19.77. We got that done, and I can come back and get the other loop anytime. It was only going to be like somewhere between 9 and 11 miles, and surprisingly both of us felt wonderful this morning. No aches and pains, no problems. So I know we could have done it, and it's beautiful right now. It's sunny, but it sounds like the skies are supposed to open up. And we had some water crossings. Obviously you can hear the creek in the background. And you know, it's just better to be safe than sorry. I've got plenty of time to finish my map. So leaving a day early isn't a problem. Yeah, I didn't do any video last night when we got back. We were so tired. We did cook. I wasn't even going to cook dinner. I was just going to eat something I didn't have to cook. But once we got back and I got in the creek a little bit and cooled off, we built a fire. We had a really nice, you know, relaxing 2 hours. And by the time I went to bed, I felt great. I didn't even roll my muscles out. But I was so tired, I thought, you know, I'll just deal with it in the morning. And when I woke up this morning, I slept great. And I thought, you know, we could do this. And I didn't hear any rain. But I'm in no hurry. So I would much rather head into Gatlinburg and have some pizza and beer today and come back later to finish or to do the other side. I'll have to come back to this area anyway. There's still In fact, there was another trail, and we were going back and forth as to what 2 trails we were going to do. Well, if I come back and do the same thing I did this time, which would be like a base camp style, I could do both of those loops. I could actually do both of those in 2 days. So that's a plan for when I come back here. So yeah, we are already, gosh, it looks like we're already a mile. Well, this only says we're only 0.9 in. So yeah, we're already a mile in. We're gonna head back to the car. We're gonna clean up, freshen up, and then we're gonna head into Gatlinburg for pizza and beer. Oh, I look lovely, don't I? I probably have a few cobwebs in there from yesterday. So I did forget to tell you that we did see a bear last night, kind of in the area that we're walking right now. It was pretty dark. Did we have our headlamps on? I don't remember. We did not. We were about to put our headlamps on, and we had been hearing things for miles. So we were clacking our poles and hollering, "Go on, bear." And Robin stopped behind me and says, "Wait, is that oh, I think it's a squirrel." And then she said, "No, it's a bear." So
Bears do sound like squirrels.
bears do sound like squirrels, yes. If you're ever hiking and you hear a squirrel, don't automatically assume it's a squirrel, because he wasn't huge. He was probably I don't know, 2-3 years old, but he just kind of looked at us until we clacked our poles, and then he went on. So, good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you guys? So, oh, this area, by the way, is big for anglers, big for fly fishermen. We've seen many of them on this trail, particularly going to different spots. So it's a great area, I think, if you're into fly fishing. But then when we clacked our poles, he scurried away. He was probably about the same distance as the bears that I ran into last time. And he seemed solo, but it was kind of fun, kind of cool, except that it was getting dark. And then we were worried that bear were all over and we just weren't seeing them. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know.